Hi there, everyone. My name is Karen Gibson, and I am an admissions officer in the College of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Edinburgh. And today I just want to speak to you a little bit about how to apply and what we are looking for in an application for the MSc Transformative Learning and Teaching programme. So if I just skip to my first slide, there are a number of different pathways available on the MSc Transformative Learning and Teaching programme. The most popular programme is our Nursery to Secondary 3 programme. So that enables you to teach all the way from nursery stage up to S3 in high school in Scotland. And we also have more specialist streams, and those you can teach from primary 5 to secondary year 6. And we offer those streams in a variety of subjects. So we offer those to teach English, computer science, languages, maths, and physics. And just to stress, those are streams that we have taught in the past. We do hope to continue teaching those streams, but you may see some changes when you come to apply to us. So how do you apply for the programme? So if you're applying for a PGDE programme, also you will notice that they can apply through the UCAS system. Now, because this is a master's programme, the Transformative Learning and Teaching programme requires an application through the university's own applicant system. So if you go to the link that is posted on this slide at the bottom, that will take you to our postgraduate degree finder. The links to apply are available through that. You can select Education as a subject area and then MSc Transformative Learning and Teaching. And the apply links for each stream of the programme can be found on the right-hand side. I would really encourage you to read in depth through the degree finder entry to see what the entry requirements are, to find out a little bit more about the programme itself, and just to make sure you're hitting all of the relevant criteria before you are applying to the programme. So how many places are available? Now that number does vary year to year. The Scottish Government do set the target for us. We're not 100% sure what that target will be for 2021 entry. To give a vague example, last year we had around about 30 places for this programme, and as I mentioned already, the Nursery to Secondary 3 is the most popular stream. Last year we had 26 new entrants for that programme, and we probably had maybe a handful of new entrants to each of our individual streams. English was the most popular stream last year. So what are the academic entry requirements for entry to this programme? So we do require a UK honours degree, and it's very important that it is an honours degree or its international equivalent. If you have studied outside of the UK at a university elsewhere in the world and you're not too sure what the entry requirements or what the equivalents may be to a 2-1, please do just get in contact with us. We do have advice that we can give you for that and what the entry requirements will be. For the subject specialism pathway, so if you would like to apply to study the English stream or the physics stream, for example, your undergraduate degree must contain at least 80 credits in the named subject. So for example, if you want to go and study the physics stream, you must have studied some physics in your undergraduate degree, at least 80 credits. And we will get an academic to double check that transcript to make sure that you do have relevant credits and also that those credits add up to at least 80 SCQF points. And that's just to make sure that you have the relevant background and experience in that subject to then go on to teach it once you have graduated from the MSc. We do require SQA Higher English at grade C or above. And again, we have a list of equivalences. For example, if you have done GCSE, we do accept GCSE English Language and English Literature. It's really important that we need both of those qualifications at grade C or better to meet that English requirement. And yes, we do have a wide range of equivalencies that we use if you've done a different qualification. We also require SQA National 5 Mathematics at grade B or above, and the GCSE equivalent of that would be Mathematics at grade B or above. Again, we have a wide range of mathematics qualifications that we accept. One thing to note is that we do require, in most cases, these qualifications to be achieved prior to you actually starting the MSc program. So for mathematics, we always require it to be achieved prior to you starting. So if you're listening to this just now and you feel, oh goodness, I don't have a mathematics qualification, there are some online qualifications that we do approve, and you could take them just now and be ready then to enter the degree program. So again, if you'd like more advice on that, please do get in touch with us. With regards to the English requirement, if English is your second language, so if it's not your native speaking language, there may be exceptions we can use to that rule. In terms of, we would look for a relevant English language test for entry to the programme, but we could make a case where you studied English throughout your Masters, and as long as you had the equivalent of a grade C at higher English by the time you graduate, then that would be okay. You could still register with GTCS. And I do realise I've said GTCS a couple of times now, and I haven't explained what that acronym means. So that's the General Teacher Council for Scotland. And they do stipulate some entry requirements that we must follow. For example, those 80 SCQF credits that I mentioned earlier. And that link at the bottom of the page takes you to the memorandum of entry requirements that they set. And it's really worth just familiarising yourself with that as well. Okay. So, big question we always get asked is what should you include in your personal statement? So, start with the basics. Why do you want to be a teacher? That should be a simple one for you if you are applying for a teaching programme. Why this particular programme? So, we do offer one-year PGDE programmes. MSc TIL is a very unique, different programme, and hopefully you will have learned more about the programme and listened to our programme director discuss it in more detail. So kind of glean from that, why is it that this particular programme has kind of gauged your interest? And how do your values as an aspiring teacher align with the philosophy of the programme as well? So you need to demonstrate your understanding of your particular aims of this programme and your personal fit with these aims. So again, listening to the information session that has more depth about the programme content and structure, that will really help you kind of form a basis as to what your own values are and how they do align with the values of the programme. Experience of working with children or young people in either formal or informal settings. Most people do have kind of formal experience, they have worked in a classroom before, but we do appreciate that not everyone has had that opportunity. So if you have done voluntary work, for example, maybe you're a local Brownie leader or you teach kids football on the weekends, something like that, any kind of experience that you have that you can demonstrate your ability of working with children. We do like you to speak about that in quite a bit of detail in your application form and kind of reflect on that experience. We would like you, again, just to demonstrate what you have learned from that experience working with young people and the impact of education and teachers that these have on the children and the young people. If you could demonstrate that as well, that would be very helpful for us when we're assessing your application. You also need to demonstrate your awareness of the educational issues in Scotland and the big issues that are hot topics at the moment, because again, this is a transformative learning and teaching programme, so we need you to be aware of the current affairs and the things that might be changing in the future. Finally, if you talk about your transferable skills and your outside interests, just to give you kind of to give us a bigger picture of you and for us to understand where your kind of roundedness lies and where your outside interests are. So in terms of the reference, we do only require one reference. We do prefer if you can provide two, an academic reference and a kind of work experience reference from your time working with children. But we do, again, appreciate that's not always possible. So yes, it can either be from an academic from your time at university, or alternatively it can be from someone that you've worked with in an educational setting. If you have relevant recent employment where maybe it's not necessarily been directly working with a child or with children, a referee from there could be acceptable as well. What I will say is that if we do review your application and we feel like your reference isn't really relevant to your application, then we will request another reference. So it's not like we will make your application unsuccessful based on the reference. We will request another one, and we will see if we can get the information that would help support your application that we need. So this program does have an interview process, and yes, this is quite a daunting part of the application, I'm sure, for most people. We do provide information in advance of the interview, so if you are invited to interview, please don't worry, we will provide you with details on what you're expected to do. So you do have to, what we call, pitch for a place in the interview. The interview panel will consist of the Programme Director for MSc Transformative Learning and Teaching and one other academic from the university. Only candidates who are on course to meet our entry requirements will be invited to an interview, and we will also in advance assess your application and make sure we feel that you've got the relevant experience and knowledge and kind of want to study this degree programme. So not everyone is invited to interview. I should also note at this point, interviews typically don't start taking place until February time. So if you are thinking about applying to us just now or before Christmas, please don't worry if you don't hear much from us before February. It's just that that's when the interview process begins. So within the interview, we will expect you to reflect on your experiences of working with children and young people, demonstrate your understanding and your aims of the programme, and again, kind of aligning your values and philosophies to the programme, and demonstrating your capacity for lifelong learning. So yes, the interview is a very important part of the selection process. You have to be successful in the interview to be offered a place on the programme. What I will say as well is that interviews are carried out in small batches, so we will potentially hold a batch of interviews in February, then a couple more interviews a few weeks later, and we do make offers straight after the interviews, so just be aware of that as well, that places may fill up depending on how strong interview candidates are early in the process. Now, we've never in the past closed applications for the programme before the kind of end of the summer period. However, it really just depends on how many applicants apply each year and how many successful candidates we have through the interview process. So please, again, just be aware of that, and essentially the earlier you can apply, the better your chances, because if places do fill, then we won't be hosting further interviews and we will just have to close the applications. And I should also, say on that you don't have to have already achieved the qualifications. So if you're currently in your 4th year of your undergraduate degree, of course you can still apply to us. And if you are successful on interview, we would make you a conditional offer on achieving that 2-1 degree and anything else you may have to achieve. So just bear that in mind as well. You don't have to wait until you have your degree flat classification to apply to us. You can apply to us now. So that was kind of a whirlwind view of our admissions processes. If you do have any further questions on how to apply to the programme, you can contact myself at our email address, which is futurestudents@ed.ac.uk. So I work in a team of admissions professionals, and so there's a bunch of us who are there more than happy and willing to help you. But yeah, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. I hope this helped answer some questions for you and helped kind of demystify the process. And hopefully I do hear from you or see your application pop up one day soon. But in the meantime, best of luck with your applications, and hopefully we will be welcoming you to the University of Edinburgh next year. Thanks very much.